Hello again. Welcome back to Billy Ho's Sports. Big weekend of racing coming up. We have the Grade 2 Rebel Stakes at Oaklawn Park, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Full field of 14 horses going. So, in honor of that, we're going to be doing a contest giveaway to show my support on our race to 3,000 subscribers. Check in the description for the details. They should be coming out very soon. Basically, what it amounts to is I'm going to take the 7 races worth 100 points, and I'm going to have everybody get one single bet of $2 to win, $2 a place, $4 total bet on one horse in each race, and a subscriber is going to win a prize. So, without further ado, let's get into the racing. Grade 2 Rebel, Oaklawn this Saturday. Subscribe and like, 3,000 subscribers by Derby or the end of Triple Crown is what we're shooting for. Let's do it. Okay, so starting off, we see the Prime Power pretty close between our top 3, Bullard, Smokin', Wicked, and Speed King. This one is probably the most interesting one here. We'll get to that one in a few minutes, so stick around. But Bullard was a hot commodity at one time. Speed King has been impressing folks very recently. So another horse impressing folks is number 1, Coal Battle. This one right back here is when I first noticed him. Springboard Mile went off almost 7-1, and I could not pull the trigger on this horse for the win, but I did use it as a value play, and I did get some money back. I did get some money back on him, but Coal Battle took that one down, and then not only did he back that up going a mile, he stretched it out to 2 turns at Oaklawn in the Smarty Jones and took it to the house. 2 different styles of running. So he went from off the pace in the Remington or at Remington Park. Then at Oaklawn, he just took the lead. And it was basically pace related because nobody gave him much pressure. And as they hit the second call, you can see he starts stretching it out. And it's a -17 pace coming home, which is slow. So, Coal Battle, don't know if he's got 4 in a row in him, but he's been very impressive. And it's going to go to the Kentucky Derby. I mean, the Springboard and Smarty Jones, those are some pretty decent payoffs. So I'd say if he can just hit the board here and if he hits the board, if he wins here, he's obviously in. But I think if he just hits the board, it's probably going to get him in because it usually takes over. It's probably going to take over 20. It depends on the amount of points it takes to get in. Every year is different. Admiral Dennis, number 2. Florent Giroux rides for Brad Cox. This one was the favorite in the gun runner, but didn't show up. Ran 4th behind Built Magnitude and Render Judgment. And then dropped down to optional claiming and cashed a check at a really, really slow pace. I don't know what to think of Admiral Dennis. I'm going to have to see it first, so I'm probably not going to be using them. Now, the one that I am going to use probably is the Sandman. Mark Casse, Christian Torres. I don't want to get sucked into this Southwest race where he just came rolling down the stretch to claim second place after he got off to just this awful start where he bumped and he reared up. It looked like somebody stepped on his hoof. He just reared up in the air and he got all the way back to dead last. But he came running down the stretch late on this. But it was a +14 pace coming home. So a lot of the horses were probably getting tired and he just ran on by. So I don't know what to think of Sandman just yet. But I think that the 2 races, because you go back to the previous one going a mile, he stalked the pace and then closed them out over Big Boat and Calling Card, steered out in time for that race. So plenty of speed and stamina. Tap it, Sire. I mean, it's definitely in the mix of my top 3 choices. Now, this one is the most, probably the lightest race, obviously. The debut winner for Kenny McPeak, Hypnus, and Brian Hernandez will ride. This might be his ace in the hole for that old McPeak-Hernandez duo. And this is where it started last year at at the I think the Rebel. I think that Mystic Dan won the Rebel. I get those Southwest Rebels, Smarties, several preps out at Oaklawn, but we know it was here where their magical run began. Regardless, so big, a nice 92. No, not wasting any time. Mile and a 16th in the slot for the debut on this into mischief colt. I like the dam side too. Dream Tree is was a very effective 5 for 5 in her career, and she had tactical speed and was very versatile. And of course, she was sired by Uncle Mo, and that's where the 7.5 average wind distance comes from. But then you have the into mischief where you have that top end speed. So Hypnos could very well like be last week's Caldera, where Caldera almost won coming down the stretch, but was outgunned late by the Baffert horse. So we'll see. And speaking of the Baffert horse, it's Medicat Road. Uh, the I think this is the one I actually missed the future bet. I didn't notice it in the pool, and so I bet the other two Baffert horses that were next to each other, San Saba and the other one, Romanesque, I think, or not Romanesque, but I digress. But anyway, Medicat Road left behind early in the Robert B. Lewis inside trip, moved toward the leader, but flattened down the stretch. I think we'll know where this horse is at after this race. Irad jumps aboard for to be the fourth different jockey. So I guess they're just kind of trying to find something he likes. Been 7, 6, and a mile. So Folly Road, he should like the distance. So maybe he'll be a little better with a little stretchy. Publisher. This one I'm going to be uh, skeptical yet optimistic about. Steve Asmussen trained. American Pharaoh is the sire. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. So just already there, the Flavian Pratt getting the mount over Eric Asmussen to me pushes this horse up a few notches. And you can see he's got plenty of experience and he's been fairly consistent thirds all the way up. Then the second in that maiden, and they ran out of time to break the maiden, so they stuck him in the Southwest. And this does not look as bad as it does on paper. He was bobbled and bumped out of the gate, and then fell back. But he is a presser. Usually stays, you can see, closer to the lead though. Third by see the second call, all the way up to second, third, fourth in the first few races. So he was all the way back at eighth place by 9 right here, then seventh. Well, he hit the stretch drive, was on the inside rail, and was looking like he was about to mount a huge rally and to try to catch Speed King. But unfortunately, the 8 horse American Promise lost focus, drifted right into his path. He had to check up hard, was pulled back. He obviously was placed sixth through the DQ of the number 8 horse, getting right directly in front of his path. So who knows what would have happened if he would have had that clean rail down the stretch. Probably would have hit the board and challenged for the win, but I can't really say for sure. I'm passing on the 7. Here's number 8 in honor of the Black Hat, D. Wayne Lucas, innovator. Tyler Bacon gets the mount and sharp workout. This horse has really been improving the seconds and then the win at the finally getting the maiden. And this is not unlike D. Wayne, that he'll send a horse out to a graded stakes to see what he's got and before he breaks the maiden. And then finally got the maiden after the Advent, second place in the Advent to Kale's Angel. Then he dropped him in for the maiden and then got it done there. So he comes right back with the LeCompte going a mile and a 16th, first 2 turns, and he comes out and rolls. And I mean, he hit the stretch driving, looking good all the way before you saw Disco Time and Built. Built was in the middle and Disco Time the far outside. Both of those caught him right at the wire, but it was a really good race in the slot for Innovator. So I think moving from Jamie Torres to Tyler Bacon, Bacon did ride him for the win. So I think it was a big jump from the 78 to 88. So I think he's going to get into the mid 90s on this one, and that might be good enough. Now that brings us to number 9, Smoking Wicked. This was the one because you can see it's by Bobby's Wicked one, Street Smoke, Damn. But this is my concern: 5.9 average win distance, and the sire side is 6.7. 6.7 is close to this distance for 2 turns, but he hasn't been 2 turns yet. Did go a mile in Champagne, but didn't do that well. This one had a kind of a backward start, broke the maiden first out, then went to the Bashford Manor, nice second there, then moved up into grade 2, grade 1 company in the Champagne, was steady and actually showed the way with the big 94 and the hopeful. It's for 7, but then stretched out to a mile and was much further back and wasn't quite into it. And a fast early pace kind of put him out of it. Then dropped in and got the optional claiming 100K win by a big margin, going 7 at Churchill. Then went to the state bred ranks for these 2 stakes wins. So this one, I just don't think's got it. The state bred wins, not impressive in my opinion. Nice numbers for a sprinter, but we're going a mile and 16th here, so there's too much other speed in the race with Speed King and Innovator. Then you have Bullard looking for a come up here, a little bit of redemption, I guess. Been a while since the Bob Hope, but burst onto the scene as Bob Hope after the big layoff uh, coming in from September. Well, not a big layoff. I got that confused with another horse. So anyway, moving on. Bob Hope, grade 3 win, then takes a few months off, comes in the San Vicente, and there's no shame in third behind. Although he didn't wasn't able to outkick Romanesque. That was the one thing that I did have a little concern about. And the speed figures are just a little bit lacking for Santa Anita here. Should have been faster going 7, but might improve with the longer distance being by a gun runner. Got quite a bit of stamina there, so I'm gonna have to wait and see it on this one for Mike McCarthy. Umberto Rispoli, 5-1 is decent value, but I don't really know what to do with this one yet. Now we get to Speed King, the 6-1 Ron Marquette, the big win in the Southwest. The big actually, I liked this horse in the springboard. I didn't bet it to win, but did go off as the 2-1 favorite, and it just wasn't able to hold off Coal Battle going a mile. So what does it do? It ships over to Oaklawn, then stretches out to 2 turns and gets out there and runs just about an evenly fast pace as well. A little bit slower on the early fractions, which might have been what helped get him home. Did win by over a length to the Sandman and then Tistastic. So I don't know. Got a little bit of a post trouble in the outside here to overcome. Speed King going to be a popular choice. I don't know that it goes off at 6-1. No thanks on the 12. 13 being Tistastic, probably the last one we'll discuss, and then we'll get to the selections. And another one by trained by Steve Asmussen. This young colt, pretty consistent. He got bumped early in the street since. Actually had some traffic down the stretch, traffic troubles down the stretch. Still ran second to Sovereignty, who were still anticipating a return, but people were pretty high on Sovereignty. Then ran third behind First Resort and Jonathan's Way. We don't know what's up with Jonathan's Way because he was forced to scratch after from last weekend's race. First Resort, we don't know quite yet what that horse is going to be either. I believe First Resort is going to be going back to the synthetic over Turfway to take his route. So the third in the Southwest was a pretty good run down the stretch. He always seems to be like there's no quit in him, but he doesn't seem to have quite the speed to get there on the occasions. But the 92 and the 101 late speed here might give him a chance to hit the board. I don't think I like him for the win here, but he is a pretty good horse. But I do like that if Jose Ortiz is on the mount, he rode this horse to back-to-back victories on the turf at Kentucky Downs, but no Christian Torres, no Keith Asmussen. So he's actually going to pick up about 10 pounds lighter coming into this race. The difference between Asmussen and Jose Ortiz goes about 112, and Asmussen's kid, Keith, 5'10", probably about 125. but we'll say 122 after he sheds a little weight before race time. So you're talking 10 pounds is 10 pounds, period. So but and quality jockey. I mean, Jose Ortiz, come on. So Tistastic, I will take a closer look at and actually Tistastic, good luck looking to crack $1 million because he got that huge victory. He made all that money at Kentucky Downs basically because he won this 250K allowance. He got the winner's share of that one. Then he got the winner's share of the $1 million juvie. So $909,000 in those two wins basically is what that amounts to. So good luck to him. And now we're going to round it out with some selections. So more questions than answers, really. Is Bullard going to like the added distance? Will Smoking Wicked get the distance? I say no. I'll pay to see both. Coal Battle, is that horse going to lose? What kind of contender is Admiral Dennis going to be? This and more will be answered this Saturday, obviously, when they run the race. Past winners not really always make good Derby horses here. Timberlake won this last year. Confidence Gain the year before. Un Ojo before that. And Concert Tour. None of those horses are inspire me whatsoever. So the race does set up for the sort of a front runner, similar to Speed King to the lead, or maybe Innovator. Innovator could get up there as well. But outside post 11 for Speed King. I like Innovator a little bit closer inside, and I think Innovator could take a big jump this time around. Dwayne usually has that horse that he races a lot and makes that big jump sometime on the road, and he seems to always do it at Oaklawn. So maybe this one, 15-1 morning line, is going to be that long shot Dwayne horse. Dwayne in honor of the hat. So I am going to pick Dwayne to win right now. I do reserve the right to change my mind down the road because I also think Sandman is going to be very formidable. And this I found interesting. Sandman was 40-1 opening in the Derby Pool 4, bet down to 16-1. That horse was. So that coming off of that, just that big effort and in the Southwest seems kind of weird to me. So I don't know if somebody just saw something in it and was the best opportunity to get in at these odds, but to bet all the way down 16-1 is probably not too happy about that. So while I don't have a definitive take just yet, I do have top contenders, and I do like a value sleeper type play. And I mean, you could call Innovator a value sleeper play because he's 15-1 morning line odds, or a Sandman for the win. One of those two. I think they get Speed King this time. I won't be surprised if Speed King pulls it off, but I think they get him. I think maybe just using up a little bit too much juice on the outside. 13 Tistastic, I think puts together an effort and will be on the podium, so to speak. 4 Hypnus, I'm going to keep my eye on. Matticat Road is another one that could have a big bounce back here. He's a presser, so not exactly, but we'll see what Baffert does with him this time. Baffert has had some success in the Rebel in the past, so keep an eye on him. Then you have number 1 Coal Battle. I can't really leave him completely out. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these horses. The sleeper is the number 6 Publisher. I like the sire American Pharaoh. He hasn't really the jury's still out. Most of the ones. I think Monomoy Girl might be the best sire or the best progeny that he's put out. But I mean, American Pharaoh was the most dominant Triple Crown winner we've had in some time, and that even includes Justify, who's actually turned out to be a little bit better sire right now. So I don't know what to do, but what I will tell you is this: scratches are incoming. I don't foresee them taking 14 horses to the gate this Saturday. So I'm really hoping, well, not hoping, but if there's a few scratches, then hopefully it will help me narrow down my choices. So that's what it's going to be. So like if Baffert scratches Matticat Road, that'll definitely help. Speed King somehow gets scratched, or Sandman, like one of those horses, then I'll be able to file it in a lot better. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more videos to come. I'm covering all the major stakes races at Oaklawn Park this weekend. So Billy Ho's got you covered. Just remember to hit that subscribe button, smash that like, share on the social medias. There's even Rumble now. Rumble is like the YouTube for the right wingers, so they say. But I haven't dabbled in. I looked at it, but I don't know if I'll start putting content on Rumble just yet because a lot of my people barely even use X or other social media sites because I do seem to favor the older crowd, even older than I am. But that's why I love you guys. So hopefully we'll get it done this week. Best of luck to you. Until next time, we'll see you.